Hey, welcome back. It's Cavallo from datingfire.com. You know, it's hard enough to keep a relationship together. It's even harder to get back together when you've broken up. You know, it can seem damn near impossible to get your ex back when they don't have feelings for you anymore. And that's what we're going to talk about here. We're going to talk about how to get your ex back when they don't love you anymore. And as always, if you like this video or any of my good stuff, help support the channel by liking, subscribing, and just turn on the notifications if you want more. Maybe your relationship hasn't worked out the way you wanted. Maybe you had a few missteps, mistakes, things that didn't go quite right. You're not together right now. You're not together with him. Maybe you're on a break. Maybe you're broken up completely. You might have even had a part in the breakup. That can happen, yes, I know, and that makes you feel guilty. Now, these are some of the steps that you can use to hopefully get him back. Now, I'm showing you this stuff because I've got an upcoming program on how to win him back. In fact, by the time you're watching this, it may already be available. You can watch for it or just go to datingfire.com/xback to get more info. Step number one is you don't want to get down on yourself. There's a very common problem, and this is one of those things that there's so many self-help books out there that you can basically walk through any bookstore and you can find a ton of them, or on Amazon, about women and self-blame. Yes, there's a negative voice that clicks in your head and it tries to make you feel bad. Negative self-talk can be a real problem. It decreases motivation, it increases your helplessness, it lowers your self-esteem, and then later on what happens? You're going to choose even lower quality guys because you don't feel like you're worth it, like you're worthy of any particular guy. See, as a society, we are plagued by constant critique. Everything out there is wired to make you feel bad about yourself, so you'll go and buy something new to make you feel better about yourself. Constantly, these critiques come up, and the worst part is, well, the startling fact is that our worst critics are often ourselves. Negative self-talk is a problem that far too many women take part in on a daily basis. And the simple fact is that we usually don't even realize it, right? Everybody has this problem. Many women have had bad role models for this too. And you compare yourself constantly. What do you got? You've got to compare your body to what you see in advertisements, compare your success next to celebrities, etc., etc. You can't see your gifts when you're constantly comparing, right? And social media is a real killer for this. Be really careful about trying to flood yourself with positive talk too, because that doesn't work. You know, where you try those mantras, those chants in the morning. I'm good enough and smart enough, and darn it, I'm worthy. No, that stuff doesn't work. It doesn't work because instead what happens is the negative voice just goes, you kidding? You don't believe that, and you ignore it. So instead, the best thing you can do is just disempower that negative voice every chance you get. Mock it in your mind. Don't give it the time to really get its fingers in there and work you. Step number two is don't expect things to change instantly. The part of you that needs this, the part of you that wants things to change right now, I got to get them back right now, that's the panic part of you. It's going to take time to get things warmed back up. Patience is an absolute necessity when it comes to getting your ex back. You've got to be willing to put in a little bit of time and not act out of impulse. I know we live in a society where everything is fast and free and it gets served to you hot in 35 milliseconds or less. But don't worry, you can do this if you just stay patient. And we're just going to start the process here. All right, step 2B, because this really isn't a separate step, is to drop that panic you're feeling. You're feeling panicked and you got to do something now, and you got to do something about that first, because the panic is going to make you do ugly things. You're in an emotionally compromised state after a breakup. Your emotions are in the wind, right? You just feel like you're being blown everywhere. You don't feel settled. You don't feel grounded. It's scary territory. And panic is going to make you do things like text him when you probably shouldn't, and text him things you shouldn't be texting him. Stalk him, maybe even cyber stalk him. Yes, I know you've probably done that on Facebook or any of the other methods of social media. You might do unwanted things that are going to push him away even further. So make sure you follow some of my tips for getting your emotions in check from some of my other videos as well. Step number 3, and this is a big one that you will probably never hear anybody talk about. Step number 3 is to decide. Decide. Do you really want him back? I mean, honestly, be sure he's really worth your time. Most often, this is something I find with a lot of my coaching clients. They want to get a particular guy back, but I always ask them, really? He treats you like that and you want him back? I find that these women want to get a guy back only because they've lost him. That's it. That's the only reason. She feels the panic of losing a relationship, not because she really wants this guy. She could care less. She's just going through a sudden panic and emotional withdrawal. And I'm going to inject something here. I'm going to send you a quick warning. Be really careful about the no contact rule. This is another one that you're not going to hear from all the other gurus out there. No contact is this idea that if you cut off contact after a breakup and you immediately disappear out of the guy's life, he will eventually want to have you back. And there is some truth in that. Don't get me wrong. Unfortunately, most women don't really understand how to use this right. It's not about disappearing completely. It's also not about trying a last-ditch desperate attempt to get him back. He's going to sense this no matter what. And if you do it wrong, if you use no contact the wrong way, you'll just push him away faster. So be really careful about the advice you see out there on using no contact. There's a right way and a wrong way to do it. Step number 4, settle your emotions. You need to feel equanimous about him. Ooh, big word, Carlos. Yes, I know. Equanimous means I don't really care what happens. It's not that I'm totally apathetic and blind. I just don't care. If it goes that way, great, I'll deal with it. If it goes that way, great, I'll deal with it. Being equanimous is essential in the process of getting your ex back because you've got to have settled feelings. If you're not settled, well, you're going to go through more panic. You're going to go through more of that emotional upheaval. And again, he's going to sense it. He's going to notice this about you. You're going to have a freak out incident where you have a glass of wine or two one night and you start to lose your patience. You'll go back through all the messages on your phone and you'll think, oh my God, this is taking too long. And you'll freak out and you'll say something you shouldn't. Okay, so that's a big mistake right there. Don't fall for that one. I'm also going to give you I want to give you an ex-back mistake here. This goes along with a warning. Calling, texting, emailing, and messaging him all the time in order to get him back. You can't pester a guy back into your life. You can't make him realize anything. Okay, it's a huge mistake to do this. And you really shouldn't call or text this person even once. And this goes back to the no contact rule. They do need to feel this scary vacuum of absence that you're not around to appreciate you. In order to appreciate you, they've got to feel what? That's right. You don't appreciate anything till it's gone. When you act needy, insecure, clingy, or desperate, you are moving in the complete opposite direction of the no contact rule. You're making yourself, well, he's going to make it so he definitely doesn't want you to contact him. Okay, that clingy or desperation act is going to tell him immediately that you don't consider yourself a prize. So he's going to know to not treat you like a prize. Pretty simple, right? Step number 5 is you've got to get back to you. You've got to get back to the essential focus that you had before the relationship. Yes, if you remember back, before you got involved with this guy, you probably were focused on your life, and then he happened along and got interested in you. Why did he get interested in you at that point? It was because you were already living your own life. You were already focused on yourself. You were already taking care of yourself. So some things may have slipped in the last few months or weeks or so, and that means you've got to get back to you. Get a makeover. Get back to the gym. Focus on your friends. I'm sure you've probably lost a little contact with some of the people that were important in your life. You got to also reestablish support, your family. Yes, get back in contact with them because they're wondering what the heck is going on with you. All those people that you abandoned when the relationship got heavy, it's okay. Women do this all the time. And all those women, men and all the other people, your friends, your family that you stop talking to as much, you got to get back to connecting with them. You have to have a happy vibe, a together vibe. What would a high quality woman do? Ask yourself that. It's a huge question, and if you ask it every time you have to make a decision, you'll know what to do. What would a high quality woman do in this situation? Would she brood? Would she complain? Would she wait around? Would she text him all night long? Would she cry incessantly begging him? Wrong. Bad move, okay? Warning. Big ex-back mistake here is begging and trying to get back with your ex using pity, guilt, fear, any number of manipulation moves, okay? As the saying goes, if begging worked to get back with them, nobody would ever break up. Think about that one, because it's so easy. All you got to do is beg and they would come back. Come on. And of course, I'd be out of work at the same time. So you know that doesn't work. Even if you do manage to get them to take a little pity on you, they'll resent you and eventually wind up cheating on you later on. That's true. That's usually what happens, which is why you don't want to argue or fight against their decision. As I always say, someone convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. All right, step number 6 is to reach out to him, but in a very, very delicate way. And I talk about this in my Win Him Back program, and this is really the most delicate and fragile step of the process, because this is where you're going from either no contact or very little contact, and you're going to try and make your move to reconnect with him. One wrong move at this step, and he's going to smell your agenda. Do you smell that? Is that neediness? Insecurity? Yeah, the problem is you might be smelling like this without even realizing it, and you probably need some confidence perfume. So what you're going to want to do here at this step in the game is to drop a few hints to him about how well things are actually going for you. Point out how good your life is, that maybe the breakup helped you realize some things about yourself, which it actually should have, by the way. No one is attracted to the person who is stuck in their sadness and calls them back up. Just wanted to see how you were doing. No way is he going to want to get back with you if you act like that, especially if he thinks you're still holding out for him. And no way is he going to walk away from you just because he thinks you might be moving on. This is the worry you probably have, that, oh, if I show him that I'm moving on, he'll move on. Nuh-uh. The more he thinks he's losing you, the more motivated he is to keep trying and to keep pushing, to keep you. This is a really important part of the sneaky psychology that you have to know about. Too often, women think that they're going to scare a guy away if he thinks that she's actually recovering and mending and getting on with her life. If he does actually close the door on you because of this, it's because his love is already gone. He probably lost his love for you completely if this is the case. And in that case, there's actually nothing any guru in the world can do for you, okay? So let's just drop that right now. The secret is to present yourself as the woman he wanted you to be before he made the decision to break up. Let me say that again. The secret for you to get him back is to present yourself as the kind of woman that he actually wanted you to be before he made the decision to break up, because that's what happened. If he broke it off, it's because there was something he wasn't seeing about you that he needed to see. And this is the time to shake him up, get him to realize he might have missed that thing. So what is that thing? Well, I call it the respark. It's the most important part of a man's decision to return to a relationship. Nobody else out there is talking about this, and that's why I decided I should get something together to show you what the respark is and how you can win him back using it. And it's something I discovered after, God, countless hundreds and thousands of hours of counseling and coaching people, men and women. And I'll be telling you more about it in some future videos. And if you want to find out a little sooner, if you don't want to wait for those videos, get on my list. I have a special mailing list for women who want to know the special techniques for winning him back. You can go here. Now, I'm not sure how long I'm going to keep this offer online, but for a limited time, I'm going to be sending you an ebook, a special ebook with some tips on what to do if you're broken up or if you're just losing him and you've got that distance in your relationship. So for now, go get on it. Go to datingfire.com/xback. This is what you need. Don't wait. Let me tell you, if you want to get a guy back into your life, you've got to know the steps to this. It's a very fragile process. And if you do any part of it wrong, yeah, it's probably going to end up like your past relationships have ended up. Okay? It doesn't work out. So also let me know if you want a part 2 to this video. And look, spread the word. Send the link for my channel to somebody that you know or even somebody you don't know. Spread the word. Send that link out because I need your support. You got to support this channel because, well, you want me around next week to keep sending you videos and emails and stuff, right? The free stuff is good, but you know what? I don't want to go work in an Amazon distribution center. I love doing this dating stuff. Help me do that. Make sure you like and subscribe. Of course, why wouldn't you? This is great stuff. Hey, make sure you turn on notifications, that little bell indicator next to that button. And of course, if you have a video you want to suggest, or if you just disagree with something I say and you want to, well, don't flame me, that stuff's immature. Just leave a comment in the comment section below. really go on over to datingfire.com/xback. Hey, this is Carlos Cavallo from datingfire.com and datingadviceguru.com. As always, live and love with passion.